Hi, Annie here, and today I thought I'd share with you my Christmas movie collection. And so these are all the Christmas movies I have on my shelf. Some of them are probably less traditional Christmas movies, but for me, they're Christmas movies, or they have a major scene or a really integral scene that is Christmas or holiday themed. And so let's get started. I'm going to start off with some classics that are undeniably Christmas. So this is White Christmas. It's undeniably a Christmas movie. It is one of my favorite. It was probably actually one of the first DVDs I actually purchased, probably within the top, the first 10 that I bought. And so it's quite an old copy. It's not one of the newer special editions one, which I always so tempted to purchase, but I know I don't need another copy of the same movie. So, but I do love this movie. Some of the music in it is my favorite. I will watch this movie in July because it's just such a feel-good movie for me, and definitely a huge favorite. In that vein, and part of kind of a trio that I don't have the third one for in this video, is Holiday Inn. And although this is set through all kind of a year of holidays, I do think of this more as a Christmas and New Year's movie. Probably more of a New Year's movie in many ways for me, but I love this. Some of the same music from White Christmas, but it also has tons of other songs and slightly different. Like when they sing some of the songs in this, they are a little bit differently arranged. It was filmed, I believe, about 10 to 13 years before White Christmas was filmed, and starred Fred Astaire instead of Danny Kaye. But yeah, I love that. And again, if you have never seen Holiday Inn, which I've run into people that haven't, they've seen White Christmas and it's in color and they love it, but Holiday Inn is spectacular, and there's some amazing song and dance numbers in that if you enjoy a good musical. So the next one I have is The Holiday. I bought this quite a few years ago, probably a year or two after it had come out in theaters. I really like this one. I think it's a nice holiday feel-good movie, and not a lot to say about it really. It's a good movie. I like the house swap idea, and yeah, I like it. The Family Man, starring Nicolas Cage and Tia Leone, is the next one. This is probably one of the only Nicolas Cage movies I actually really like. I'm not a huge Nicolas Cage fan, but I do love this movie. I thought in theater, kind of begrudgingly originally. I had a friend that wanted to see it, and I was like, oh, it's Nicolas Cage. This is not for me. And I saw it, and I actually really loved it. It's a kind of take on the Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, Future idea, and it is excellent. I have another classic here in the form of The Bishop's Wife, starring Cary Grant and Loretta Young. This is another excellent one. Cary Grant, I don't think it's spoiling it to say he plays an angel. Loretta Young plays the wife to David Niven's Bishop, and it is quite good. It is quite slow in places, but not bad slow, just still, in the sense that they're letting things develop. So I really enjoy that one. I've watched that one for years. I feel like that was one that used to air on TV all the time when I was a kid, and we every kind of in the week before Christmas, not right on Christmas Day, but in that week before. This is a bit of a new find for me, and by new I mean in the last probably 5 years, and it happened on Fifth Avenue. This is Dawn DeFore. I went on a real Dawn DeFore kick within the last 5 years, and I found this movie because of that. Anne Harding, Charlie Ruggles, who, again, love him. He was the grandfather in Parent Trap, for anybody that might not know the name off the top of your head. And this is really, really cute. It takes place post-World War II, when there was the housing shortage in New York, and these people all find themselves in New York City, but with no place to kind of live or go right at Christmas time. And there's a really neat story surrounding that, and it's again, there's a bit of a mistaken identity issue with it, which I do love a good mistaken identity. And so yeah, that if you've never seen this one, it is really worth digging up, or I keep knocking myself in the face. It is really worth digging up or trying to find. It's super cute, and I was surprised I'd never seen it before, because it is the kind of Christmas movie that is like right up my street. So Love Actually is my next one. I think everybody knows what this movie is. It's many storylines, all taking place right on Christmas. They intersect, they diverge. It's amazing, very good. And yeah, I'm not going to say too much because I think everybody kind of knows about that one. I have this one, which is a TV movie called Borrowed Heart, starring Roma Downey and Eric McCormack, who is Will from Will and Grace, and Hector Alonso. It is really cute. I saw this on one of the kind of higher channels here years ago, and I dug it out to, well, I didn't dig it out. I'd recorded it on like tape, and then the tape got messed up and recorded over, I think actually was what happened. I used a VCR quite a long time. We didn't have PVR, we just kept using the VCR. But I really liked this, and so I looked it up on Amazon, and I found it, and this one actually has a bonus music CD, but I don't think I've ever actually listened to it. Oops. But this is really nice. Roma Downey plays a single mom who works at a factory. Eric McCormack plays the kind of factory boss. It's exactly what you'd expect it to be. It's a made-for-TV Christmas movie, and everything, of course, works out in the end, and the hard-hearted boss learns a lesson, and the single mom is, you know, no longer having to, like, struggle to get by. So, I don't know. I like it. The next movie I have is another modern classic in the form of Elf, starring Will Ferrell and James Caan and Bob Newhart and Ed Asner and Zooey Deschanel, and there's so many great people in this. This is an excellent movie, and again, I'm not going to talk too much about it because I feel everybody kind of knows about this movie, but I will say that I do think it fits, if you like classic holiday movies, it fits very well in that vein. And also, if you have never watched classic movies but you like Elf, I think you will like other classic holiday movies, not just holiday movies. I think you'd like classic movies because I feel like very much is that kind of structure. The next thing I have here is the TCM holiday, what would you call it? The TCM Holiday Collection. And this happened on Fifth Avenue, The Shop Around the Corner, Christmas in Connecticut, and A Christmas Carol. As I already had discussed, Shop Around the Corner, Christmas in Connecticut is another great film, and Shop Around the Corner is Ernest Leibowitz and is one of the most stunning, amazing films, period, but it is an excellent Christmas movie. It stars Jimmy Stewart and Margaret Sullivan, and if you've never watched it, you need to. It is so good. It is so well structured. I feel like it's again kind of not mistaken identity, but like hidden identity. People, there's some confusion with the identities. You'll notice I love this. The more videos you watch, the more videos of mine you watch, the more you'll realize how many of my favorite things involve this. But it is an excellent kind of story of friendship and frenemies and a love story and just like co-workers. I really love it. And it's Ernest Leibowitz, who did some amazing movies in the 30s and as well. And that's this movie, though, you really should watch if you haven't yet. Well, not should, but if you are looking for something new and you haven't seen it, that would be my top pick from this group. The next thing I have is a 4-pack of holiday movies, and the reason I actually picked this one up was because of the Story Lady, starring Jessica Tandy and Stephanie Zimbalist, which is what is that kind of portrayed here. That was a TV movie that I saw when I was quite young and really liked it. I also love Stephanie Zimbalist from Remington Steele, which I think is why I grabbed onto that one so much. It also has Beyond Tomorrow from 1940, 1935 edition of Scrooge, and A Star Shall Rise from 1952, starring Raymond Burr. So that's kind of a cute set. I do like The Story Lady. It's kind of a cute kids' Christmas movie, but it is very kind of dated in many ways. This next one I have is Happy Holidays with Bing and Frank. This one was kind of really disappointing. I'd picked this up at like an outlet kind of where they had movies, where movies go to die, shall we say, and it was just, it's an hour long, and the music, although good, it felt like the whole production just lacked polish that you'd expect from a Christmas special, especially one that had made it onto DVD, and it was just a bit disappointing. The vocals weren't the best. It just felt really rushed. It felt like Bing and Frank hadn't really been like full rehearsed. So that was a bit disappointing because I actually paid a tiny bit more for that than it was like a bit more expensive at the outlet than other things had been. So it did come with a Frank Sinatra card, though, just on regular like kind of magazine cover paper. But this was one of his artwork, the clown paintings that he did, and actually they featured it in an episode of that he did this in an episode of the Dick Van Dyke Show, which is really good, and several other things mentioned it at the time. But anyway, yeah, that was a bit disappointing. It could have been so good, and it was a bit of a disappointment. So I've got a few more here that really big events center around Christmas, like Little Women, and where this really is looking at many, many seasons. I always feel like the Christmas scenes in this are some of the strongest and most memorable, and I also think it used to air on TV here at Christmas time, and this is the Peter Lawford, Elizabeth Taylor version, which I believe was kind of like the second talking version of Little Women. There might have been a silent, I'm not sure, and not the 90s one either. So there's that one, and Bridget Jones, which again takes place over many times, but I think the holiday element to it starts in the snow, it ends in the snow, and it like right at Christmas time, and so I always think of this as a bit of a holiday movie as well. The Wizard of Oz here. This movie to me has been a kind of holiday movie. I think it used to air in December, maybe, like as part of those holiday movie that they did when they'd air on TV. I know in the States it got aired at Thanksgiving, but I do think in Canada we used to get it more in December as well. We used to get it about 3 times a year, but because we picked it up from the American station, then I think the Canadian channels aired it about twice in December and then maybe March. Anyway, that doesn't matter. But to me, this is very much a holiday movie as well. The next one I have is Meet Me in St. Louis. And again, where it takes place over 4 seasons, and the fair for the World's Fair, which is what the movie is talking about for a large chunk of time, takes place in the spring. I think the center Christmas ball scene and also the song Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas is from this movie and was written for this movie. And so I think I can't get away from this being a movie I also identify with Christmas time. And I don't think it's because I just watched it at Christmas, because I watched this sucker all the time. We had that one recorded off of PBS and I watched it all the time. For me, another movie that seems very Christmassy in many ways, like I always identify it, and definitely the most out of the series, is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Now, I think out of all the Harry Potters, this one definitely feels the most Christmassy to me, and yeah, I think that this one is, again, one that every time Christmas rolls around, I'm like, oh, I'll watch Harry Potter. Don't know why. Probably, again, the time of year it came out. And also just, I think, the Christmas scene, like in the Great Hall, there's something about that, you know, just, it feels Christmassy because it is Christmassy. But even though the whole movie isn't Christmassy, I like the Christmas element of it. The next movie I have is Desk Set, starring Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn. This is my favorite of the Hepburn and Tracy movies. It is definitely, in my opinion, the most well written and the best, and also the one that stands the test of time the best. And Katharine Hepburn plays a resource kind of person, so not a reference librarian, but that kind of thing. Like, she has like an excellent memory, and she works at a television or like media type center, and people are always calling, asking questions, and there's a group of women that answer these questions. Spencer Tracy plays somebody that is looking to install a computer system into this giant corporation. So they're kind of on the opposite sides of the same problem for most of the movie, but this is excellent. This one isn't included in a lot of the Hepburn and Tracy sets, which I think is a real disappointment because it is definitely one of the best ones. The next one I have here is About a Boy, and again, it takes place over many seasons, but I think the Christmas element kind of at the very end, but also it has that, it kind of has different moments that take place over Christmas and about how you spend the holidays and all this stuff. And so this, to me, although I wouldn't necessarily recommend watching it at Christmas, does have quite a few depressing moments, but maybe that is representative of the holidays themselves. But anyway, Hugh Grant, Nicholas Hoult, who has gone on to greater things, but he plays the boy in this, and it is a really, and Rachel Weisz, and Toni Collette. So it really is packed with goodness, and it is worth a watch. I wouldn't maybe not recommend it at Christmas time, but at the same time, it does have that Christmas feel to me. So I guess it depends on how you like your Christmas movies. If you like them a bit on the depressing side, then that one might be for you. The next one I have is Fools Rush In, and it starts at a holiday party, and I just can never get away from that. To me, this feels like a Christmas movie, even though it is set over months, and that's not really what it's about, and isn't how. And that opening scene, that opening feeling, is just, it's excellent, and it's such a great way to start the movie. And yeah, I love this movie. It also has one of my favorite all-time lines from a movie, as far as like, you know, Jerry Maguire has the "You Complete Me," which I hate, but this one has "You're everything I never knew I always wanted," and that I love. I love that sentiment. It's not "you complete me," it's the fact that, wow, you're just, I never could have known that's what it was. And anyway, that's one of my favorite lines from a movie ever. So yeah, again, I'm not a big one for like cheesy romance, big gestures, but that line I love, because I think that is the thing about love, is like, you can't really predict who it is that's going to make you a better you. And this movie, kind of that line in that, I love that. Anyway, I'm babbling. I'm really, really babbling, and I apologize. The Sound of Music is the next one I have. This one is aired at Christmas time, so although it's not really a Christmas movie at all, it's aired on Christmas Eve for us here. I don't know other places, but in Canada we get it on Christmas Eve, and that's been like that for quite a long time. So I think this one has always been kind of a Christmassy movie, because if you were home kind of on Christmas Eve, it airs like back to back too, so you could watch it at like 8 o'clock or 10, so, or later. I don't know, it's on twice on Christmas Eve, so it's kind of a big part of the choice if you want to watch a movie on TV. The final movie I have here is Casablanca, and this one, there's not a huge amount of rhyme or reason. Again, I think it used to air frequently during December, and it's a movie that I don't tend to think about much of the rest of the year, but come December, I'm always like, ooh, I want to watch Casablanca. And so again, won't talk too much about it, because I feel like everybody knows Casablanca as far as like what it's about and general stuff. So anyway, those are my holiday movies. I feel like I'm definitely forgetting some. I did like kind of scour my shelves, but I feel like I'm, maybe because they don't have, the title isn't jumping out at me or something. Anyway, what are your favorite Christmas movies? Totally let me know. I really want to hear. And please subscribe if you like this. I put out a video every Wednesday, and sometimes one on the weekends. Definitely let me know what your favorite Christmas movies are, and we can chat about Christmas movies. Why do you love Christmas movies? Do you love Christmas movies, or do you hate them? Anyway, I'll see you soon. Bye.